Number one is going to be, surprise, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. To nobody's shock, and I've talked about this game pretty extensively. I'm super hyped about it. It comes out on February 29th. I'm super hyped. This is the second part of the Final Fantasy remake story. We know that there are going to be some story changes. The question is going to be, how drastic are they? We do know that there are some alternate timeline shenanigans going on. That's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And this is also going to be going on simultaneously with the Final Fantasy Ever Crisis, which is the online game, which is supposed to be the quote-unquote definitive edition, and that it's going to be covering the entire canon from start to finish. So it'll be interesting to see how it fits in with that, given that one is what is supposed to be the OG story, and this one is going to be the new story, so we'll see where it goes. So I'm super excited. And this game's supposed to be way longer than the first one. So again, this is another, I think they said like this one probably should take over 100 hours to complete or so, which given in the first one, I probably spent over 100 hours in it. And I wanted to go back and like real quickly do a speed run-ish kind of thing of the first one before this one came out. But to be honest, I got so much stuff from this year that I still haven't gotten to, let alone stuff from previous years that I haven't gotten to, that I'm considering maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just jump right in. So I still remember the story pretty well, and I played through it twice or three times.
And do you think many people will be in the same boat as you in terms of they're like, okay, this game, even though it's not entirely new, I'm going to be playing this. Therefore, other newer IPs and franchises will lose out customers because of fans like you of Final Fantasy VII or other similar series that are being remastered or re-released or changed 2024.
Absolutely. Yeah, when people are fans of stuff, they drop. And I'm a completionist, so that's why oh God, I got to finish this game in a month to get to my next one. For people like you who say, hey, I'll play through it, and then after a while, I'll just jump into something else. Yeah, these remakes and whatnot are going to absolutely eat into other games that people are going to get into.
That's good for the industry or new IPs?
Honestly, no. But I do think that in a way that's not necessarily a good thing, because like people have been joking with, especially to say Resident Evil recently, they said that they announced they're going to remake Resident Evil 5. So that one's getting a remake now. And people are saying, okay, they're not even really focusing on new Resident Evils anymore. They're just rehashing the entire series. What happens when we catch up? Do we just make remakes of the remakes? What goes on there? And you know, kind of like what people complain about with movies, where people are like, why is everything these days is either a sequel of a fresh IP or it's a remake of a previous, like Disney keeps doing the live action remakes, like of movies that aren't even that old, like a live action Moana. Do we need that? No, not really. And I think in a way it is bad, because what it does is it stifles creativity for the sake of, you know, financial safety, because they're like, this is a safe bet. We know people are going to buy it. We know people are going to be into this because the investment is already there. So we don't have to take that risk on a new IP, and we can still get our profits and whatnot. And it's a lot easier for us because we don't have to create this new story. So there's less risk. There's still a lot of work to do because you have to create the battle mechanics and you have to do the graphics and all that. There's still a lot of work to do. But in terms of marketing and stuff like that, it's not the same kind of risk. And because of that, you're not getting the same kind of payout, right? Was it high risk, high reward? So here we're getting low risk. We're still getting a pretty good reward, but I think that's a diminishing thing where over time you're not getting new stuff. I do wish we had more new IPs or new entries in things. Yeah, say GTA 6. I don't mind that because it's an entirely new story. It's not a big risk at all. Let's face it, we already know today that this game is going to be super successful. When people are just rehashing old stories, I think it stifles creativity, but at the same time, some people want change and some people don't want change, and I feel like it actually causes a rift in the fan base as well, which I feel is not necessarily a good thing. And I know a lot of people say things like, oh, the OG still exists, but I think this is coming like mentally from the same place as heresy in a way, where people are like, this is my belief system. This is what I think is true. This is what I hold valuable. And then somebody else comes along and they say, no, that's wrong. This is the truth. and people get personally offended by that. And I think that's why sometimes these remakes can be really divisive, is because you have people that like, this is a game that's really important to me. This is a game that holds a lot of value to me. And then when you go and you change things, then it's not as true anymore, even though the original still exists. That now you always going to have that kind of rift in the fan base, that where you have not everybody's on the same page anymore. So I don't think all these remakes are necessarily a good thing.